Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The engines don't just wake up at Virginia International Raceway, they snarl. Tonight, the Throttle Freaks GT3 League unleashes its grid onto one of America's most unforgiving circuits, a place where rhythm matters, bravery is mandatory, and every mistake is punished by grass, dirt, and lost time. For 45 relentless minutes, these drivers will thread their GT3 machines through the rolling hills of VIR, carving through the climbing S's at full commitment, dancing through oak trees' technical precision, and charging down the back straight where horsepower becomes a weapon. Strategy will matter just as much as speed, with one mandatory pit stop on the board. Timing that could be the difference between victory, heartbreak, or a late race miracle. This is where champions prove they can survive the pressure. This is where rookies learn what real pace feels like. This is VIR, fast, punishing, beautiful, and absolutely uncompromising. Welcome in, this is Racers Nexus. I'm Rob Campbell, and in the booth with me, about to break his streak next week of never missing a Throttle Freaks race, is Richard Swindells. Welcome in, Rich.
Hey, never say for sure. I could be broadcasting, Rob, unless, but no, I'm gonna miss next week. 99% likelihood, but glad to be here at VIR. This is going to be an interesting one. We got, about 38 cars here so far this evening. Going to be an action-packed event this evening.
It certainly is. You see there qualifying currently going on right now. Manuel Vigo leading the way in Pro Class and overall, but we'll get back to that in a moment. But as we mentioned, we are at VIR, Virginia International Raceway. They say Virginia's for lovers, Rich. It's going to be a matter of lovers of motorsport racing here tonight. 3.24 miles in length, 17 corners, and not too far above sea level here, only 500 feet or so. 75-degree air temp, 77-degree track temp. A beautiful evening to do some racing here in Virginia. Let's take a look at the calendar. We're at the halfway point of the season. After tonight, the first half of the season will be done. Next week, we head to the streets of Adelaide, back to Hockenheim in Germany for round 7, Lemans in France for round 8, and then we head back to a couple stops in the U.S. to finish off the season at Indianapolis Road and at St. Petersburg. Still a number of great tracks to come here ahead through the rest of the season. And the format, same as it's been for the first 5 seasons. Season 6, no different. 120 minutes of practice, that's done and dusted. They're in the middle of qualifying. 15 minutes of qualifying, as many laps as they want. Open qualifying, everybody on track at the same time. 45-minute race, unlimited tire sets, 0 fast repairs. 20 instant points nets them a drive-through. 4 more after that nets them another drive-through. Fixed setup, no adjustments can be made other than the brake bias, and they're carrying 50% fuel load. As we mentioned early on in the introduction, they will need to make a pit stop at some point in time. So, Rich, I think you're a big fan of VIR, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I like it. It's got a mix of everything, and I like tracks that have mixes of everything. What it doesn't have is me being very good at it, and it's also missing an oak tree at Oak Tree Corner. But yeah, I mean, it's got tight technical sections. It's got long straightaways. Elevation changes. What else could you ask for?
Well, not a whole lot, I guess. Maybe if you're a driver, maybe a little more runoff. So when you do dip a tire off track into the grass,
It makes it interesting.
You don't go flying away. But before we get into qualifying, let's take a look at the championship results here, Rich. Well, not results, championship standings, I guess it is. Coming to this one first, let's take a look at the Pro class, where Jack Hedgecox has led the way, and he's just, as we said, that jumped up to the top of qualifying. So he's 33 points ahead of Jim Feliz in second. David Bush III moves himself up into third place, 25 points back of Feliz. Cortez only 1 point back of Bush III, and Ryan O'Connor only 9 points back of him in fifth place. So outside of Hedgecox, the rest of the Pro-Am class looking pretty, or sorry, the Pro class looking pretty tight here, Rich. How are things looking in Pro-Am?
Yeah, in Pro-Am, we have Jason Park with a pretty substantial lead right now over Colin McKenzie, who's having a solid season. Seb Gauthier is just 6 points back of Colin in third. Then we have Jack Polyak in fourth. Josh Goen, Samuel Garcia, a little bit further back in fifth and sixth. And then we've got a nice great grouping from seventh all the way down to about 13th place.
Yeah, Trickett and Steffi tied for 9th and 10th in class there. Over in AM class, we've got James Hand leading the way, dominating AM class right now, 102 points ahead. Or sorry, not 102, 13 points ahead of Chip Michaels. Sorry,
that'd
Chip.
be a big lead.
He's 13 points back of James Hand, only 3 points back of him. Sean Provo had a little bit of a slow start to the season. The driver who we normally see right up at the sharp end of AM class is slowly working his way back up there. But Cesar Jimenez in fourth place, only 4 points back of Provo. Ian Caban only another 3 points back of him. And then Taylor Schenk a little farther back. Sumo God, Evans Mills, and Max Gomez can round out our top 10 in the AM class. And then lastly, Rich, why don't you take us through the teams?
Well, in the teams, it's a real close battle, folks. Going Racing Ruby, a slim lead over SRT Purple. Lunatic Racing, third place right now. They're 49 points back, but they're in a battle with Riot Motorsports, Team Red, and PLR Simsport. Winterback Racing sitting sixth. So good little battle right now for, looks like, first place and also for third place. Hey, Rob,
Yes.
just one thing to mention. I think, I could be wrong, that Sean Provo was promoted to Pro-Am, was he not? And that would explain why his point standings are where he is.
No, he's still an AM.
Oh, okay, on my timing scoring, he's showing Pro-Am.
Unless he got promoted this week, Rich, but on the points when I did them up, he was still getting AM points. So we'll have to send our detectives in to do a little investigative journalism on that one. But the man who's leading AM class right now is this man right here, James Hand. See him there back with his traditional handlebar mustache. Rich looks like he's doing well, up into 13th place in the BMW. He's had a nice season here since joining the I-75 Motorsports team, but the man leading the field here, as he's done most of the season so far, Jack Hedgecox, dominating season up to this point as we enter the halfway point, but he is only 3/10 ahead of Gonzalo Cortez in second place. I think we talked to Cortez last week, and he wasn't a big fan of VIR. I think he said he always wrecks at the same corner, Rich. I can't remember which corner it was, if it was Oak Tree or one of the other ones they said he struggles with, so we'll have to keep an eye on Gonzalo, as he's only 8 hundredths up over Jim Feliz in third place right now. And then Eric Carmen currently sitting in fourth and rounding out the top 5 And top 5 of our pro class as well as overall is William Fenton.
Yeah, it's you know what, James Hand has been really, really impressive all season long. He's been here since I think day one with Throttle Freaks. Maybe that late night or early morning racing is doing him well, but ever since joining I-75 Motorsports, he's just taken it up a notch. But on to some other racers. Currently P1 in his class, Jason Park. Once again, very, very solid in the Ford Mustang with that just gorgeous livery.
Yeah, representing the Riot Motorsports Team Red. He's got that red. Oh, he hops up into second place overall right now with that lap he just put in, Rich. So looks at the Mustang doing well here tonight at VIR. And as the clock ticks over, I think he crossed the line just as the clock went. So I think this lap he's on right now isn't going to count, but he really saved his best lap for the end there, Rich. Well done for him. He's come in, I think he's won the last 2 races in class. So he's going to be looking to potentially do the 3-peat. But Josh Goen, currently 2nd in Pro-Am class, 8th overall. He's got one more lap here to potentially have a say in how that comes down to play here tonight.
Yeah, it's take a look here. There's Colin McKenzie, currently 6th in class in qualifying, but Colin seems to, this season especially, maybe not necessarily qualifying up near the front, but he's been driving clean races, and that's, obviously qualifying's over, so he's just doing a little lawn mowing in the dustbuster and calling it a session. But yeah, his consistency is really paying off for him this season.
Wasn't that always your key there, Rich? You always said you may not be the fastest, but you're consistent, and you get to the end of each race.
I may not be fast, but I last, Rob. That's what it is.
I knew it would come out there somewhere, somehow, that we'd hear the Richard Swindell's comment. But while the drivers are finishing up their qualifying, let's take a look at what is coming up the rest of the week here on Racer Nexus. So you can see tonight we got Apex. This is Porsche's Cup started a little before this race. That is currently ongoing. Tomorrow night we're going to see the Indy NXT cars, the junior Indy cars on track here at Racer Nexus. I'm actually going to hop in there and do some racing. So if you want to race with me, it's a free league to join. Find the Discord link find our Discord link in the description. You hop in and you'll find the link for the American Sim Racing League in there. High Point Racing comes back on Thursday with the kickoff of their IMSA series, and FMA with their WEC series is back again on Thursday night. Then the Pro Trucks hit the stage on Friday night. Breaking Bad GT3 for our late night racers on Saturdays, and then Sunday the triple header of Freedom Motorsport Gen 4 Master Cup cars, and then the High Point GT3s back on stage. That's all to come later this week, but that's going to do it for qualifying here, Rich. It's time to see where our drivers are going to start.
And a short pace lap at VIR today. Lots of cars. In first place on pole, we've got Jack Hedgecock. Second place, Jason Park. Nice job. In third place, row 2, Gonzalo Cortez with Jim Felice in 4th. Row 3, we've got Miguel Vigo in 5th, Eric Harmon in 6th. Row 4, William Fenton in 7th, Josh Goen in 8th. In row 5, we've got Andrew Trickett and Josh Spears rounding out the top 10.
11th place, we're going to find Ryan O'Connor in the Whataback McLaren with David Bush III to his outside in 12th. 13th place is Seb Gauthier and James Hand beside him in 14th. In 15th place, Kyle Colbert going to start beside Jeff Evans in the Mustang. Colin McKenzie in 17th in the Dustbuster. And 18th place is going to be Jay Steffi. 19th place, Ryan Byrne and Ian Cabana are going to round out the top at 20.
At 21st, Sean Provo. In 22nd, we have the McLaren of Dale Peterson. In 23rd, we've got Andrew Venaro with Jack Polyak in 24th. Row 13, we've got Andy Mills in 25th with Kevin Berquist 26th. Cesar Jimenez is 27th. David Morse, 28th. And in 29th place, we have Justin Welsh with Brett Pancari in 30th.
And 31st, we're going to see Corey Precker and Herbert Pineda. Whoa. Herbert didn't put a time in here tonight, starting way at the back. Matt Mars in 33rd with Max Gomez in the Dixie Cup paint scheme in 34th. And then 35th, we're going to find Nick going. No time from him on the board either. And Doug Evans at 36th. And then rounding out the field, it's going to be Nick Hamilton in the Mustang, starting in 37th. There we go.
Wow.
Looks like all of our drivers are on grid except for Evans and Hamilton. Potentially a pit lane start for those two, Rich.
Yeah, that's I don't know. It's, you know what? I'm really happy to see Jay Steffi qualifying and putting in a time and starting mid-pack there. I think he's taken a couple of weeks starting from the back, and makes it a little easier to get a good finishing result if you don't have to pass 18 cars to get to the mid-pack. So I'm never a fan of starting at the back, but I understand why some people do it.
Yeah, I think he ditched that experiment after a couple of weeks. But you know what? You signed up for a race, Rich, so you might as well get out there and race. That's always been my motto. But a field tucked in behind Jack Hedgecoats and Jason Park starting on pole. Hedgecoats, the pole sitter, will have command of the field heading into turn one. We'll see what kind of run we get into turn one. They always have the orange zone here, Rich, where penalties are a little stiffer on lap one. So I think I heard during the pre-race speech that Colin McKenzie was giving that they wanted to see some calmness from the drivers into turn one, Rich. It's a long race. They got plenty of time to find their way around, but Hedgecoats getting a massive jump here into turn one. Looks like Jason Park and Gonzalo Cortez going to battle it out for second place. Looks like Cortez going to get the inside line. Then Vigo tries to go on the inside of Park too as well. So Jason Park just going to lose the one spot early on. We'll see if he's able to mount that charge back up and gain that spot back.
Yeah, Jack, tremendous jump, and Jason Park on the outside just didn't get there. Gonzalo Cortez followed the trail and drafting behind Jack Hedgecoats, getting up to second, but Jack Hedgecoats off on a tear right now, leading them up through Snake here. We're past the first 6 corners here at VIR. Look at the cars snaking in behind. That's why it's called Snake, folks. Going 1 and 2 wide. That's real difficult, real testy there. Drivers getting through relatively cleanly, though. Oh, as I say, that is Mars. Mars, big spin, but gathers it back up. It gets back underway. Still ahead of Doug Evans, who started from the pit lane. So Matt Mars back underway. A little bit of a Cope Brown moment, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look at that in a few moments here and see what happened. But there you go, picture in picture. See Jack Hedgecoats continues to open up that massive lead, Rich, over the rest of the field. Already 1.3 seconds over the field here. So Jack, he's put in some work and he's trying to break away here now. He wants to eliminate that draft. VIR, a track where the draft can be fairly strong here with a lot of the straights and really flowy sections.
Yeah, you know, it must be boring. I wouldn't know. It must be boring to be that good. And you don't you think? But hey, here's a good little battle. William Fenson, just wow! Look at this. We got William Fenson, Josh Goen. Josh Goen's taking a peek up the outside, but just ahead of Fenson, Gonzalo Cortez. Something happened to him. He fell way back because he was up into second place. That's why Jack Hedgecoats just got such a huge lead.
Yeah, let's take a look and see what happened to him, but that's going to move Jason Park back into his qualifying position. In second place, he has Manuel Vigo in behind him, the lone Aston driver in the field. And he's proven, what's this, the third week now? I think he's been here, a second week. He's been driving the Aston each time, Rich, and it's kind of proven that the Aston can be quick in the right hands.
Well, you know, if my I rating was over 8,000, Rob, I'm guessing I could be quick in anything as well. But it's not. But great job, Miguel. And we love seeing the variety of cars. And that Aston is just a gorgeous-looking vehicle. Take a look here. Josh Spears. Josh Spears currently sitting in 8th place. And right now it's looking like Josh Spears. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing here, Rob. I don't know what's going on here. A little bit of timing issues on my own timing and scoring.
Josh Spears sitting in 8th place. He's up 2 spots from where he started. A pair of BMWs in line here with Eric Harmon in behind him. Harmon down 3 spots. A rough start for him, but I'm having a look. I wonder if Cortez might have just got a slowdown because I'm not seeing him off track. Any indication of off track or an incident here for him, Rich. So I wonder if he maybe just cut the track a little bit, got a slowdown, and that's why he lost those spots. We'll see if he's able to work his way back up through the field. But let's head a little farther back, through the field. Take a look at our AM leader right now, James Hand, mired in the top 15, currently in 13th place. He's up one spot. He's trying to find his way around Ryan O'Connor up ahead of him. That's one of the pro drivers for Whataback Racing. And then he's got Seb Gauthier hot on his tail. Seb, as we always like to say, the best profile picture in the business.
Oh, definitely. And he's always brings his own fan club to the broadcast. So taking a look here. Oh, look at this great battle between Seb Gauthier and James Hand. So James Hand really likes driving in the early morning hours and doing quite well here, battling amongst the pros and pro-ams alike. I predict, Rob, that he may be eligible for promotion at the end of this season if he keeps this up.
I don't know. I think they've abandoned the, if you won AM class, you get promoted up to pro-am, and if you won pro-am, you get promoted up to pro. I think I'd like to see them bring that back, because we've had a number of drivers who have won a couple seasons and they haven't necessarily taken that promotion into the next class. So we'll see if maybe they bring that back. Sean Provo, I'm looking at you. But we're on board here with Ian Cabana right now as he's chasing down Sean Provo, as I just mentioned, up ahead. So Ian Cabana currently second in class. He's had a nice season so far, Rich.
Yeah, Ian Cabana, we spoke to him last week. So and we've spoken to him a couple of times this season. So it used to be Kevin Burke was doing the best for Crikey Esports, but Ian Cabana has definitely stepped up his game of late and doing a solid job this evening. Like you said, second in class and 21st overall out of this 37-car field.
Yeah, and I think if I remember correctly, I think he was in third or fourth in the AM class points too as well. So, Cortez is going to be our first one into the pits, Rich. So we'll see what happened to him, but there's Brett Pancari on screen. He wanted to make mention this was the week he was going to run his special paint, Rich. And you know what? I got to give it 2 thumbs up with the Kitchener Rangers paint job on that Acura NSX, the Memorial Cup champions this year. And you know what? Hats off to Brett representing. He's even got the hat on the Fox in the in-car camera.
Oh, no, Castro GTX this week.
No, it's the Kitchener Fox. Yeah. Way to go, Brett. He's up one spot as it is right now, but Cortez, he's still in the pits, Rich, so I'm not sure if this is a scheduled stop for him. He's bordering 30 seconds right now, but maybe we'll find out in the chat later on after the race. We can get an update on what happened to him, if it was a mechanical issue or something else that we just didn't catch on camera.
Yeah, something definitely up with Gonzalo Cortez. He's still in there. He's been in the pit lane for 45 seconds, so looks like his chances are done, but Miguel Vigo, we're following along with him, second in class, third overall. He's 3/4 of a second behind Jason Park. Jason Park stretching out a little bit of a gap there, but Jim Feliz and Miguel Vigo trying to close it down. We'll take a look at Jim Feliz come through roller coaster here. The roller coaster, always a little tricky section of this course. Coming down here through corners 16. Oh, this is always tough. Coming into hog pen 17 and rounding out to finish the lap, and wow, a little off track goes Miguel Vigo. That's going to let Jim Feliz get a good run. We'll see if Jim Feliz gets enough to get things done here. Drafting up tight, he's going to try the inside line. Usually the inside's the place you want to be in most corners, but and yeah, Vigo gives that up rather easily, knowing that this wasn't the corner to fight.
You know what, Rich? I think VIR probably has some of the best corner names of any racetrack, with NASCAR corner, hog pen, the snake, oak tree. It's got to be the
left
champ
hook as well.
Left, oh, that's right. That's right. We got who we got? We got a Bert. I think we have Alexander Berter in chat here saying Stebo has the best profile pic. Stebo is an awesome profile pick too as well. Alexander Berter, who you see here on Monday nights racing GT3 and FMA.
Yeah, that was Stebo's got the best non-human profile pick, or definitely feline profile pick, we'll say. But take a look here at on the big screen. We've got James Hand, Mr. James Hand, battling with David Bush III. So James Hand, well done, my fellow. He's up 2 positions. He's up to 12th. He's obviously put in some homework. The Lambo of David Busch third just up ahead of him. And then on the inset, we're going a little further back in the field. Taking a look at Andrew Venaro. Andrew Venaro right now have himself a good battle in that big train of cars. So P21st overall. Acura following the Acura of Colin McKenzie.
Yeah, I wonder if those Acura drivers are missing the cars they were driving last week, Rich, where McKenzie was in the Mustang. I think Pancari was in the Audi, if I remember correctly. I can't remember what Venaro was driving. Was it the BMW? Or was he in a Mustang too as well? But as we see, James Hand going to pick up another spot there as he moves around. Oh, sorry, that was a lap car he just went by there. I know it was Seb Gauthier. Not
Seb Gauthier. They're just battling a little bit, but yeah, he's still in the same spot. That's just Seb and him. Oh, Ryan O'Connor off in the Whataback Racing McLaren. 14th place, falling rapidly. Hard to get back on track in that position there, but finally managed to squeeze it in, but not before he dropped 4 or 5 positions.
Yeah, he's going to come back on right ahead of Sean Provo, who has a pack of cars in behind him. Ian Cabana, Colin McKenzie, Andrew Venaro, Andy Mills, Dale Peterson, all there waiting to pounce. And it looks like O'Connor, I'm not sure if he got some damage, but it looks like he's down on pace here. Just can't quite open up a gap over Provo since he came back. Oh no, there goes Provo off track.
Yeah, you're not going to recover from that. A number of seasons ago, iRacing did a little fix to the ice grass here at VIR, but it's still slippery.
I went to click on Sean Provo, and you know what happened, Rich? He went so far across track that he shot up my timing and scoring instead of going down. Because we'll have to see if we get a replay of that and watch him going across the track. It's something that we talk about here often. You go off track at VIR, it's just so much grass, you can just keep sliding all the way across the other side of the track. And that's exactly what Sean Provo did. So I went to click on him, and then he disappeared. I was thinking, like, did he just alt F4 out of the lobby here? Or what happened? And then I saw him about 10 spots up higher than what he was. So let's see if we can maybe get a blimp cam of Sean Provo going off track here.
Yeah, it looked like it was corner 10 at South Bend. And take a look here, getting looking okay so far, and then gets a little squirty, gets off in the grass at South Bend, and that's going to bring you right basically past the exit of Oak Tree, almost onto the straightaway on the back straight. Now he's got to turn around, and he's got a long way back to go. He's saying, I'm not going to bother, and come back out there, and that's going to result in a tremendous slowdown, I would think.
Oh, I would think for sure. I would think he would just get a straight black flag for cutting the course. I don't even know if he get a slowdown for that one, but it seems like he's still out there on track, Rich.
Yeah, he got a black flag, it looks like.
Okay,
sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think when you go that far off track, it doesn't even give you a slowdown. It doesn't give you the opportunity. It just gives you a black flag for a drive-through. So unfortunate for Sean, one mistake, but you don't see that too often, but it's kind of funny when you see a car travel that far across the track, and you think you're safe. You're just going through the grass. You're not hitting anybody, but next thing you know, you're coming back onto the other side. The cars you were just battling with, they're right there against you. But we got distracted. Oh, we got Matt Mars in chat here. Packet loss got him, put him out of his misery. Oh, man, rough night went even worse for Matt Mars.
Well, he had a great night last night, so they can't always be winners, Matt. Unfortunate for you this evening, but at least you had some success last night. We take a look on board with David Busch III. David Busch III still holding off James Hand behind him, but having a good little battle, trying to get ahead of Andrew Trickett just up ahead of him. Coming down into turn 1 here. The Horseshoe, you can go out wide, you can take it tight in alternate lines here through Horseshoe, and right now, so far, they're just following a nose to tail. This is always a little tricky section here, NASCAR bend here, Rob. It's kind of you got to pick your braking marker, and there's nothing to tell you where to brake or where to let off, and all the drivers doing a good job here.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks where you just got to have the lap time, or not the laps, the laps in there to get used to the track and just kind of get the second-hand knowledge where the braking section is. But as you mentioned, yeah, it's a tough corner there, Rich, but we got a train of cars. You see them all the way back. Looks like from David Busch, you can see all the way back to, I think, about Dale Peterson in 22nd place, somewhat in a relative line. They're only separated by about 4 or 5 seconds. That's the main heart of the pack coming through there.
Yeah, we're coming around here with David Bush III. Coming around through Oak Tree. A little further back, Jay Steffi. His choice to start and qualify is paying off. He's in 15th. He's up 3 positions right now, leading this big train with Ryan O'Connor, who had his issues earlier. Right behind him, Ryan Bird. We got Ryan and Ryan. We've got McLaren. We got Mercedes, McLaren, Corvette, all nose to tail, and then we've got a couple of Acuras.
Yeah, O'Connor's going to make the pass clean on Steffi. I think Steffi just kind of backed out, gave him that. Didn't really want to push the issue too much. 2 different classes battling there. So you see now Steffi can go to school in behind O'Connor here and try and find some pace behind him. But while we got a moment here, things kind of settle down a little bit. Let's see if we can find out what happened to start the race off. Looks like Herbert Pineda was the first driver that suffered a bit of an issue here to kick this one off, Rich. He started at the back of the pack, didn't set a time in. He's trying to mind his business here early on, and he's going to go out wide with those cold tires. Not sure if he saw something coming up ahead there or just kind of bailed out, but cost him a little bit more time than we saw Matt Mars. We saw the tail end of what happened to him. Let's see how he got that way.
And nothing going on right now. And,
so the car just snapped loose on him.
I think he caught a little bit of a front right fender into his front left fender there, going from what my extreme X-ray vision caught. Take a look right here.
I think it just snapped on him. Oh, neck code between he and I think that was Goen. Nick Goen, I think that was at the back. Looks like neck code, and then neck code shot him again, but he said he got disconnected for packet loss, so I wonder if that played a role there too as well for Matt, unfortunately. But while we were off camera, Jay Steffi into the pits, missing his front end here, Rich.
Ouch. Oh man, I gotta stop talking good about people. Let's see what happened here to Jay Steffi.
Oh, he's already got damage on the left rear. Look at the suspension on that thing.
Whoa.
So something happened to him beforehand here. Like Steffi went off track and Mackenzie went off track too as well. I wonder if something happened between the two of them. So there's Steffi's battling with Bird. Oh, Bird got into the left rear. Mackenzie spins as well. And that's how Steffi got that damage. Then couldn't drive the thing after that. But let's see what happened here for Colin Mackenzie, who got wrapped up in the...
Jay's sign there saying stay away did not work, unfortunately, for him.
Let's take a look here. Mackenzie, I'm not sure if somebody got into him or he just got wrapped up in it. Oh, he just couldn't get slowed down in time, got into the back of Bird. Then I'm not sure if that was Cabana or Berquist. Just gave him a little tap on the rear bumper and around he went.
Yeah, I think that was Ian Cabana looking about where they're standing, but yeah, it's hard to get on the brakes there because you don't see that. It's too late, and you're not getting the yellow flag. Andy Mills having a little excursion as well. But yeah, that incident happened around the corner from them, so there's no yellow flags waving. By the time they do, you're already into the cars ahead of you. Take a look what happened to Andy Mills, getting a couple of tires off onto the grass. That never works out, but wow, what a save. And everybody else getting through cleanly. Great job, drivers. A little bit of luck, a little bit of skill.
I think that was Justin Welsh that went through there and just about cleared out Andy Mills, but I don't know how he made it through there, didn't get tapped. He was either him or Cesar Jimenez. Didn't quite catch it at the end of the camera shot there, but Justin Welsh up one spot. He's trying to chase down Brett Pancari up ahead of him. Pancari in that pack of Pineda, Goen, Morse, and Jimenez as they try and chase down some of the leaders up front. But the guy who's been on the mission here since the drop of the green flag, Rich, Jack Hedgecoats, got out to that huge gap on lap 1. Hasn't looked back since. He's got 3.4 seconds over Jason Park, who's held his own. Although Jim Feliz is starting to reel him back in now. That gap only 6/10 between those two drivers.
Yeah, Jack Hedgecoats, having himself a boring drive thus far, but doing his homework. He probably just learned the track this morning, Rob. You know how it is with those pro drivers. But Jason Park, very, very impressive. It's beauty, I just love that on the side of his Mustang. But doing a great job holding off Jim Feliz thus far, and he's been doing it since the get-go. A little further back, Cesar Jimenez and Corey Precker having themselves a good battle, and a whole bunch of cars in behind them. David Morris, Nick Goen, Herbert Pineda, Brett Pancari, all of them stacking up. We're taking a look on board with David Morse. David Moore's following along with these drivers, and wow, he's got Corey Precker up ahead, Cesar Jimenez up ahead as they're going through Snake. This is oh, you never want to go side by side there, but sometimes people try it, and so far so good. After Snake, we get this really technical section going uphill with some twisty sections, and corner number 10, probably one of the most difficult corners on this track. South Bend, that's where we saw that excursion earlier for Sean Provo.
Yeah, he's a little before Oak Tree, but I just noticed something there as this pack was heading through the S's. Nick Goen blinked out a couple times too, and that's the driver who had the contact with Matt Mars. So I think it was a perfect storm situation for those two drivers. A couple of them struggling with connection issues tonight. Rich, they found themselves on track, and we saw what happened there, unfortunately. So we'll see Matt Mars back again a couple times this week on the channel, and we've talked to him plenty of times. He'll regroup and be ready to go again.
Yeah, he's a resilient racer, and certainly very involved in the hobby. But Eric Harmon in the Whataback Racing, a BMW. We got BMW and BMW 7th and 8th. And Josh Spears from SimCity Racing right behind him. Love seeing the alternate cars, or alternative cars, I'll call them, up in the top 10. We've got Ferrari in front, but then we've got Ford, we've got Aston Martin, we've got BMWs. We've even got a Lambo in the top 10 tonight, Rob.
Yeah, just outside the top 10, we get your favorite car, Rich, the Corvette. Kyle Colbert representing for you in the top 15. He's trying to pick off Seb Gauthier. Let's get that battle of Gauthier in hand, which, going on for about a good 10 minutes here now, Rich. But we're getting close to the halfway point. We should start seeing some more drivers come in. The drivers that are going to opt for the undercut strategy should be coming in this lap or the next one to try and see if they can find themselves some open track space. And as I have a look at my track map here, we've still got a good half the track that doesn't have cars on it, so it is an opportune strategy here for these drivers. If they want to try and find a little clean air, maybe they feel if they're a little faster in the car they're battling out front, get into the pits, get some clean air, maybe put those laps in, and get ahead of that driver when they come in for their service.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like we've said before, I'm not a big fan of the undercut because it's not like you're getting fresh tires here. These drivers are going to run the same tires for the race for the most part. Some may take two, but for the most part they're going to take none. But if clean air is what you need, if somebody's holding you up, that can be the strategy. You take a look on the inset with Jim Valise still continuing to trail Jason Park. On the big screen, we've got Kyle Colbert in 13th place with Seb Gauthier and James Hand just up ahead of them. So a nice little three-car battle going on the big screen. And into the pits now, we got Andrew Venaro.
And Venaro going to be the first one to peel off and bite. See how that works out for him. A little later on once the rest of the pack comes in, but Herbert Pineda, he's making a move on Andy Mills. They go door to door. Mills, we saw, had that spin a lap or two ago. Pineda had that incident early on, start at the back. But, wow. Crossover move there by Herbert Pineda. Still trying to find a way around Andy Mills. Andy Mills got a little squirrely off the corner. They're going to bump and bang here. Still door to door, a little more contact between these two drivers. Herbert Pineda going to go off track. He'll have to regroup again. Been a rough race here for
Andy
Herbert
Mills.
Pineda. Oh, man. He was battling so hard against Herbert Pineda, and then just lost it after he'd kind of give a little bit of a shoulder check to Pineda off track. But let's take another look here at what happened there between these two drivers.
It looked like relatively clean. I mean, they're both trying to hold their lines, just a couple of little bumps, but both drivers just taking the grass. Pineda saving his, but Mills unfortunately not able to save his, and that's going to be race ending. A little further up though, where cars are still on track, we got William Fenson. Solid season for Mr. William Fenson, the Riot Motorsports Team Red driver. He's taking a look at the back of the Aston Martin of Miguel Vigo. So Fenson up 2 positions. He qualified 7th. He's in 5th. Vigo's qualified 5th. He's up to 4th. So right now, these two drivers just kind of having a little 2-car battle, and this has been ongoing for a number of laps at this stage.
Yeah, we got the Ferrari of Fenson versus the Aston of Vigo. They've fallen back off that duo of Park and Felice, who've opened up a nice gap over them. So we'll see here maybe if they can work together to try and close that gap. But they've got a little bit of breathing room between Josh Goen and Eric Harmon. We're in 6th and 7th place. Just saw them just out of camera shot. That last one there as these drivers exit out of the snake and they start to make their way to Old Oak Tree, which is no longer around. I wish iRacing would have left Oak Tree there. I know they updated for the realism as it's not there in real life anymore, but it was a fun feature in the track.
You're right. It should still be there because you can't hit it if it's not there, folks. And I'm not saying I've hit it before, but, you know, it could have happened. It was a long time ago. Just take a look here. William Fenson applying some pressure here to Miguel Vigo. This is always a little tricky corner. It's also a good place to make a move for the Brave as they're coming down through roller coaster. Always a little tricky technical section. You got to use all the track and then a little bit of the curb. Slow the car down, get the weight shifted, get the balance, and get hard on the accelerator as you come down the start-finish line and pit straight.
Yeah, it looks like Fenson going to be too far back to potentially make a move into turn 1 this time by, so he's going to have to try and close that gap down a little closer. But let's go a little farther back here in the pack. Check on the battle here between Nick Goen and Cesar Jimenez. Jimenez in the I-75 Motorsports paint theme, chrome, black, and green. Porsche up ahead. Goen looks to the inside. He's going to make that pass stick. Looks like Kyle Colbert popped into the pits to get his service done as well. And David Morse kind of lurking at the back of this battle. He's up 6 spots from where he started, Rich. So nice drive right now for David Morse.
Yeah, he's had some bad luck this season. Great pace, I believe, at the last season, going from my memory, and just hasn't had the best of luck. But David Morse, the SRTE driver, SRT Black, one of the leaders of their team sessions to get practice, and certainly taking advantage of that. David Morse now applying a bunch of pressure to Cesar Jimenez.
You know what? I think I figured out the driver you were thinking of. It's not Sean Provo that got the promotion. It was David Morse who took the promotion for winning last AM season. Richie moved himself up into Pro-Am class, and that's why he's got the red banners on his car this season.
Well, I'm going to have to update my timing and scoring then. I guess I'm, the cars are the similar colors. SRT, give me a break, folks. There's too many of these guys. James Hand, though. James Hand, solid drive thus far. I'm going to stop talking about him. I don't want to give him a curse. 11th place, first overall in his class. He's got quite the gap to Ian Cabana, who's second. So James Hand, not afraid to mix it up with the drivers who are a little bit ahead of him in class. But right now, Seb Gauthier going up the inside of James Hand. We've got Seb Gauthier, James Hand side by side coming into Horseshoe turn 1. Seb Gauthier on the inside, James Hand wisely. Oh, I thought he was going to tuck it in behind. No, he's going to go around the outside, and now he tucks it in behind. But all good as we take a look. Andy Mills gets a black flag. He's got to go back to pit lane.
Yeah, it's been a rough few laps here for Andy Mills. We're seeing more drivers pop into the pits. We got Harmon, Trickett, O'Connor, Morse, Bird, Bergquist all in to get their stops done as we've passed the halfway point. So I suspect the next lap, maybe 2 laps at the most, if somebody really saved a lot of fuel, Rich, should see the rest of the field through. But Seb Gauthier had been working on that pass for a number of laps on James Hand. He was finally able to get it done. James still going to be leading the AM class, though, so he probably played the wise move here, Rich. Although points are doled out where you finish in the overall scheme of things, not where you finish in class. You want to try and keep as many drivers behind you as possible, but he still has a little bit of buffer between second place Ian Cabana, who's currently in 12th place.
Yeah, that was about a 15-lap battle as Ian Cabana just kind of disappears off our radar. Hopefully everything's all good. But take a look here at somebody who is on our radar.
I think Cabana just got packet lost. He's falling down the grid here.
Just disappearing. And that's not good. But while that's going on, all our leaders into the pits: Jack Edgecoats, Jason Park, Jim Feliz, Miguel Vito. It looks like they're all coming in now. Top 7 drivers all in. Yeah, it looks like we'll see if anybody stretches out an extra lap. Let's take a look at Jack Edgecoats. He's in a pit lane. Here comes the hole. It's going to get real busy. Look at the crews getting out there. Whoa, look at this invisible gas fill-ups, folks. That's the way we like to do it. It's that new technology. Take a look here, and it must be 15 cars in pit lane right now. And, you know, I don't think anybody got back and went an extra lap. That the margins are real tight. Jack Hedgecock's getting out front. Jack Hedgecock's got the gap of about 3 seconds over Jason Park. So Jason Park closed down significantly that gap in pit lane. Hopefully, well, I'm guessing Jack used a little more fuel, and he was going to be a little more conservative on his fueling strategy with that much of a lead.
Well, I was having a look. Before the pit, we saw Feliz right on Park's back bumper, and Park came out 7/10 ahead of Feliz. He was longer in his pit box, but was 2/10 quicker getting on and off pit road than Feliz was. So nice pit stop there by Jason Park, showing us how it's done. But as you mentioned, he take a little bit of time on the Hedgecokes on that stop. Hedgecock's usually very quick on and off pit road, but as you mentioned, Rich, being out front, not drafting anybody, probably using a little bit extra fuel. He was one of the longer drivers on and off pit road, almost 40 seconds for him, where the rest of the field was in the 38, 39 second range.
Yeah, Herbert Pineda's day is going from bad to worse. He's getting a penalty. He's going to have to go back to pit lane. There you can see the gap, though. Jack Hedgecock's first, Jason Park, the second car, Jim Feliz in third, and then there's quite the gap after that to William Fenson, our Aussie driver, in fourth. Fenson having a great day, but the class of the field this evening and for most of this season, Jack Hedgecock's just, he's looking like he's done this before, Rob.
What? Won a race, Rich? Once or twice?
It's like a Sunday afternoon drive for him. As we take a look here at Ryan O'Connor. Ryan O'Connor sitting in 15th place, coming up on James Hand. James Hand falling back a little bit there in pit lane. A little slower stops than some of the other drivers. So James Hand still solidly in first in class. Dropped a few positions through the pits, but Colin McKenzie now, well, that's why Colin McKenzie hadn't pitted. He got an extra lap again. That dustbuster was maybe sucking up the gas fumes of the rich cars ahead of him.
Yeah, we had a couple spins there too as well. Probably saved a little fuel not having to throttle through that, Rich. But Ryan O'Connor, one of those drivers we saw off early on, so he's had an eventful race for him, down 3 spots where he qualified. But things fairly status quo up front. Pit stops kind of separated the field here a little bit. We don't have as many close battles as we did heading into the pits, but we got a battle right here between Ryan Bird and Dale Peterson. Peterson in 17th overall, 6th in class. Ryan Bird 10th in Pro-Am class, 18th overall. So he's up 1 spot from where he qualified in your Corvette, Rich, the second highest placed Corvette. And it looks like maybe the Chevy's not all that big of fans here at VIR.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. The Corvettes, aren't they made in Kentucky? I mean, isn't that close enough? I don't know. But anyhow, that's so far so good. Taking a look at Ryan Bird here in 18th place. He's just up 1 position. Dale Peterson in the gorgeous-looking McLaren up ahead of him. And then a little further up the road up ahead of them is Ian Cabana, who's second in amateur. So James Hand, Ian Cabana continuing to have very successful seasons, and this race no exception.
As we're on board here with Ryan Bird as he follows Dale Peterson up into roller coaster. And you know, they call it roller coaster for a reason, Rich. I think if I remember correctly, I think it's about 80 feet, 80 to 100 feet, I think it is, the elevation change from going up into the top of it and coming back down. So I think it's one of those corners I think would be real fun to drive in real life. I don't think the sim or TV, when you're watching a race there, when IMSA goes there, really does it justice.
Yeah, it's kind of like corkscrew at Laguna Seca, except for you really see the elevation changes on the TV cameras there, but here you just miss out. Taking a look up the field in 6th place, Josh Goen. David Bush the 3rd. He really took advantage of pit strategy. I hope he's got enough fuel, because he was lightning quick in the pits. He was less than 13 seconds, so 2 seconds faster than most of the rest. So hopefully he's got enough fuel to get to the end. But Josh Goen in 6th, David Bush the 3rd in 7th, Eric Harmon in behind in 8th.
Yeah, I think Bush the third was in behind going for the most part of the race here, so probably saved a little bit of fuel there, but that's going to hamper him trying to defend against Harmon and Spears. Those two BMWs coming up behind him, looking rather quick. They're going to want to try and make short work of David Bush III. See if they can try and get around Josh Goen, our second place Pro-Am driver. He as well is trying to get up towards the front, trying to get into Genesis Park's kitchen here. But right, speaking of into his kitchen, Jim Feliz now right back on the bumper of Park. And he knows if he wants any chance of taking a shot at Jack Hedgecoke's ahead, he needs to try and get around Jason Park very, very soon.
Yeah, he's going to try the outside because Park protects the inside. Going through Horseshoe here, corner one. Feliz wisely tucking in behind. Lost a little bit of time there, but should be able to gather back up down the straightaway. That gap to Hedgecoke's is... it's not increasing. Jack Hedgecoke's is getting caught by Jason Park and Jim Feliz. If these two drivers work together, there's still a chance. There's 10.5 minutes left. We're on lap 20. We're going to go, about my calculations show about 26 laps tonight. So still a few laps left. These drivers work together.
They absolutely can. And looks like, I don't know if Feliz backed off there on purpose, but Park was able to open up that gap over him back up to about half a second, and looks like he's actually, as you said, reeling in Hedgecoke's even more. I'm wondering if Jack Hedgecoke's, maybe he's trying to save a little bit of fuel here, Rich, but he was one of the longer drivers in the pit stop. You'd think he should have enough to comfortably get himself to the checkered flag here. The real driver, if Hedgecoke's is having to save, would be Jim Feliz, who 13.9 seconds. I think he is our quickest driver. Oh, sorry, other than David Bush III, who spent the least amount of time, 12.95 seconds in his stall. Jim Feliz might be the driver really having to nurse the fuel here.
Yeah, well, Jim Feliz spent, he spent the entire race actually following Jason Park, so he may have been able to save some fuel and that let him get a little bit quicker, and he was only just over at 1/10 longer in his stall than Jason Park up ahead, but they're going to come around for another lap, nose to tail. Jim Feliz closing that down the straightaway. They're now about 2.5 seconds behind Hedgecoke's. Hedgecoke's kind of looks like he's gathered it back up and stopped the bleeding, I guess I'll call it, if you can call it that, and now is maintaining its gap and actually slightly increasing it as Park and Feliz continue to battle behind him.
Yeah, Hedgecoke's put a tourniquet on his cut there, Rich, to stop the bleeding. He was able to hold it on, but we got a battle here between Jack Polyak and Andrew Venaro. This is an in-class battle for Pro-Am. 7th and 8th place in class, 19th and 20th between these two drivers in the overall position. So we'll see if Polyak has anything to offer for Venaro as far as a battle. Venaro, one of our Acura drivers who's back in the Acura this week, but found it kind of interesting, Rich, that all three of the Acura drivers who, by no choice of their own, had to pick different cars last week due to an issue with iRacing, the cars not loading properly, that they've all went back to the Acura this week.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were driving it for a reason, and that reason is they obviously are comfortable in the car, and I can't necessarily blame them for sticking with what they know. Especially Brent Bunkari, who for some strange reason chose the Audi last week of all the cars he could have, but even Brent Bunkari back in the Daisy Challenger Pontiac, we'll call it, and oh man, we got to get him on screen because hometown producer there must be loving this. No, that's not the New York Rangers, folks. We're talking Canada. We're talking the Kitchener Rangers. So we'll take a look on board here. Brent Bunkari always having that great shot with the camera. Missing the Castrol GTX, but we definitely liking that little mini hat there on whatever that is. You know what that is, Rob. I don't know. I'm not a Rangers fan.
It looks like a fox to me, but I don't think it has anything to do with the Rangers. But fun fact, you mentioned the New York Rangers, Rich. That's how the Kitchener Rangers got their start. They were a team that was started by the New York Rangers as their farm team. That's why they were called the Rangers. So that was many, many years ago back in the 50s. But we got a battle here between Colbert, O'Connor, and Seb
Back when you were just a
Gauthier.
young lad.
Back when I was just a gleam in somebody's eye, Rich. But
Yeah, grandparents.
Seb Gauthier is looking racy still as he's behind O'Connor and Colbert. We saw him battling with Hand for a while there, but he's been able to pull away from Hand, and actually Jeff Evans is putting himself in between Gauthier and Hand, and that's going to move James Hand now back just immediately ahead of Ian Cabana. Well, I say immediately. Ian Cabana is 6 seconds back of James Hand, so he still has a comfortable gap there, but you see Ian Cabana working through the S's now. He's got Dale Peterson in behind him. Peterson, a Pro-Am class driver, so not necessarily a battle in class, but Ian Cabana isn't going to want to give up that position as those points are going to be desperate in his championship hopes.
Yeah, James Hand, still a solid race and still first in class, but the point differential between him and Ian Cabana in second is closed down. So take a look at Colbert zooming here. Kyle Colbert in 12th, and Ryan O'Connor just kind of, if I caught that right, just flying by there on the entrance to roller coaster. A great passing opportunity for the Brave on the brakes.
Yeah, that's going to put O'Connor back into the position he qualified in. So he's officially completed the recovery, Rich, from that incident he had earlier on where he spun out. So unfortunately for him, he's only got about 5 minutes left to go in the race to try and gain some more positions. But we head back up a little farther. We saw Josh Goen was opening up that gap over David Bush III. And Bush III was going to have to deal with Harmon and Spears. It looks like that trio is reeled back in, Josh Goen. And we're going to have a 4-car battle for 6th place here.
That's what we want to see. That's nice little battling here. 40 minutes into this race, and 40 minutes of chaos, or not chaos, actually relatively clean racing here at VIR. A couple little bangs and bumps, but overall not too bad. Up at the front, Jack Edgecoats continues that just over 2 second gap to Jason Park. So Jason Park closing it down a little bit, but not enough to make any much of a dent. But Josh Goen continuing to lead David Bush III. David Bush III has Eric Harmon in tow. So these three drivers, we've got a Ferrari, we got Lamborghini, we got BMW, kind of stretched out a little bit and not close enough to make any moves. Draft's going to help a little bit, but not enough to close that gap down tight.
Yeah, it looks like the Ferrari still has the legs in a straight line here over the Lambo and the BMW, but see if maybe they've got something to offer here once they get to the front straight. But they're going to pick up the 2 to go flag this time by here, Rich. So drivers running out of time here to try and make these positions up as opportunities starting to go by the wayside very quickly. And speaking of opportunities, Jason Park taking full advantage of this opportunity up front. He doesn't just want a win in class here, Rich. He wants to hold on to that second place overall podium position. To do that, he's going to have to keep on holding off the charge from Jim Felice, who there's been ebbs and flows. Felice has been right up on the back bumper of Park, and every time he's done that, Park's been able to find a little extra speed and open that gap back up. He's got it up to almost 9/10 now over Felice.
Yeah, he's doing a good job as Jason Park all night long, and basically since lap 2 has been it's been kind of this way. Jack Edgecoats up front. He's got lap traffic of Cesar Jimenez 3 seconds up the road from him, but otherwise I think we're going to have clear sailing all the way to the end. So as long as Edgecoats can get by Jimenez, Jason Park is going to have one more lap and a half here to hold off Jim Felice for second overall, and the Riot Motorsports Team Red driver having a great effort, as is his teammate William Fenson, who's sitting in 4th overall. So Riot Motorsports Team Red, a solid evening.
It's definitely going to bode well for them in the team championship points. So we'll see. We still have we've got this lap plus 1 more to go here, Rich. Who's going to be able to hold off the charge? Who's going to be able to hold off the car they're battling in behind? Dale Peterson, he is now up on the back of Ian Cabana. Thought about sticking the nose into the inside there and then backed out, thought better of it. Ian's going to hold on to that second place spot in class as it is for right now. He not doing much work in the way of closing that gap down to James Hand up ahead, but looks like Harmon has gotten around David Bush III into turn 1, so now that moves him up into 7th place. We'll see if he's able to chase down Josh going up ahead of him. Josh Spears going to fall back a little bit off this pack here. He's got the Mustang of, I'm not sure who that is. That's Andrew Trickett in behind him. So I think Trickett changed cars this week, if I remember correctly. I don't remember he was in the Mustang in weeks previous. Yeah, he swapped into the Mustang this week, so he's going to get a little bit of penalty points for that one. Rich, I can't remember what it is, if it's 20 points or 10 points for switching cars, but Andrew Trickett has made the move into the Mustang.
Well, you know, if you're not battling for a championship and it's not the car that you're favoring, it can make some sense to make that change. Especially we're at the halfway point. Go with something a little more comfortable. As we watch him come through Oak Tree, Andrew Trickett sitting in 10th place overall. Solid race. 3rd place in class. Josh Spears up ahead of him, and just up ahead of them, we've got Dave Bush 3rd and Eric Harmon. So Andrew Trickett looking for, he's down 1 position, started 9th, looking to get that position back. Not going to happen here, but he's going to have one more opportunity or one more lap to go after this one. So we'll see if he can get it done.
Yeah, white flag is out. You see on the tower there, the white flag is out for Jack Hedgecoke. So one more time around for Hedgecoke. That gap between Park and Feliz is closed up, down to about half a second now between them. But you know what, Josh Spears, Rich, he's a driver that we don't necessarily talk a whole lot week in, week out. I think a lot of it's just because he puts in a good qualifying effort, and then he just kind of he hovers in around that position pretty much the entire race. He doesn't really push the envelope all that much. He's calm, cool, collected, takes advantage of what comes to him. And as he just made that move on David Bush III, who's I think
David Bush III's limping that thing around with fuel, I think, Rob, because he's just the 2 cars just got by him, and now he's just trying to stay on the bumper and draft as much as possible. That's my guess, is he's just real low on fuel.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. He was the driver with the shortest pit stop, so he spent a lot of time following Josh going to start the race, saving fuel, and unfortunately that can harm you as far as your calculations go. But Jason Park gonna hold off Jim Feliz as they head down into Oak Tree here, Rich. Or sorry, they're not heading into Oak Tree, they're heading into Roller Coaster. So it looks like Park can be able to hold off Feliz for 2nd place, but our leader, Hedgecoke's down through Hogpen. 2 more corners to go for him, Rich, and he's going to wrap up the midway point of this season. Round 5 is going to go to Jack Hedgecoke's with a win at VIR.
Yeah, Jack Hedgecoke's another solid effort. Jason Park holding off Jim Feliz for 26 laps. So great job by those 2 drivers. Good battling. A little further back here, we got Josh going holding off Eric Harmon. Eric Harmon charging hard, but running out of real estate. It's going to be Josh going 6th, Eric Harmon 7th.
Yeah, going as well, 2nd place in Pro-Am class. Josh Spears going to come home in 6th in class, 8th overall. Andrew Trickett going to round out the Pro-Am podium. The 3rd place finish, 9th in class. James Hand going to come home with the win in AM class. The little razzle-dazzle. We got some cars running out of fuel into turn 1. So David Bush III had enough just to get across the line there, Rich, and not much more. Ian Cabana going to come home in 2nd. And look at this, Justin Welsh going to persevere and get himself up into 3rd place on the podium in AM class, 23rd overall.
Yeah, with a great team name in Curb Munchers. A good job, Justin Welsh. I like some of these team names. We got the Whataback Racing. We've got Cranky Sports. And there's always Quarter Life Crisis Racing Team. I wish I was Quarter Life. Take a look at Colin McKenzie. Lunatic Racing. Yeah, they're all lunatics, folks. 27th place. Not his favorite race of the season. Having a little issues earlier on there as they were... he kind of, no fault of his own, just came across an incident that cost him tremendous amount of time, maybe a little bit of damage.
Yeah, unfortunate for him. And then we see him behind Max Gomez. Oh, I wonder if... I think he's coasting across the ice out of fuel. So, yeah, he was only 11.6 seconds in his stall for fuel there, Rich. So it was a little bit of a dicey situation there for McKenzie, but not a race he's going to be bragging about anytime soon after that one.
No, not at all. But you know what, Rob? For 36 cars started this race, that was pretty clean here at VIR. Where the comp lanes are very, very tight. basically for the first 3/4 of this track.
Yeah, not a whole lot of room to overtake. You really only have 2, maybe 3 overtaking opportunities. The rest of the race, it's a follow the leader situation. But let's take a look at the results here. First up in pro class, we've got Jack Hedgecock taking the overall win, as well as top spot in pro. Jim Feliz is going to come home in second, with William Fenton rounding out the podium in pro class. Miguel Vigo in fourth, with Eric Harmon in fifth. Spears, O'Connor, Bush the third, Evans, Bird, Goen, Pineda, and Cortez going to round out the pro class. How are things looking in Pro-Am, Rich?
Well, in Pro-Am, Jason Park just class of the field there. Great race for him. In second place, we had Josh Goen, Andrew Trickett coming in third. Fourth place, we had Kyle Colbert, Seb Goche solidly in fifth, Dale Peterson sixth, Andrew Venaro seventh. Then we had Jack Polyak, Kevin Berquist, Brett Pancari back in the Acura, David Morse and Colin McKenzie. Jay Steffi with his issues earlier, and Sean Provo didn't finish.
And then lastly, over in AM class, James Hand taking the win ahead of Ian Cabana and Justin Welsh, rounding out the podium with Max Gomez in fourth. Cesar Jimenez is going to come home in fifth place, with Andy Mills, Corey Precker, who hopped in chat here towards the end of the race, said his game crashed. So rough end of the race there for him. He's going to finish up 4 laps down. Doug Evans, Matt Mars, and Nick Hamilton all out early on in this one, and going to be a rough race for them, Rich. But that's going to get us to the interview section of the evening here, and let's see who we got.
I'm not talking to him. I'm not talking to him.
we have a couple drivers in here waiting to chat. Let's bring in our race winner, who he did it again from pole, from green flag to checker flag. Jack Hedgecoaks. Tell us how many laps you didn't do in practice this week, Jack.
Let me look at the laps from earlier. I did. Let's see. I showed up. I did 9 laps of practice before quality.
Oh Jesus!
That was in this. That was in the session. That wasn't this week.
Well, you did it again. You got that. Tell us about that massive jump you got on lap 1. It looks like you pretty much sealed the win right there. You were able to get ahead of the rest of the field. I think it was about a second and a half almost by the time you got back to the start finish line.
Yeah, that honestly. I mean, I hope to at least be like close to a second, but I think Cortez and Park, I think Cortez overshot. I was watching the mirror in the first sector. I think Cortez overshot one of the corners and lost some time, and after the forest corner, the oak tree, I don't know what happened, but the gap ballooned to over a second by the time they hit oak tree, and I was like, oh, because at that point, if I was within a second, I don't know if I would have been able to. I mean, the draft here is pretty strong, so like you said, once it was over a second already, by then it was just maintaining that gap, really. So I don't know what happened back there. I just tried not to spin on lap 1, to be honest. So I wasn't I was striving, pushing mega, but we'll take it.
Yeah, Rich had pointed out that Cortez had fallen back, like you said, and we couldn't see anything on timing and scoring here to suggest what happened, so I'm not sure if he got a slowdown or just got a little skittish or what happened. But we're going to head to a drastically different track next week, the streets of Adelaide. How are you feeling about heading into to that one to start the back half of the season?
Can't wait to go back. Not really, I'll be honest. That track, that first turn section, I mean, you hit that curve wrong, you're going to die. So I'm not looking forward to it. I hope the Ferrari's at least decent, but as long as they don't wreck there, I'll be honest, I will take it, because
you might need 10 laps of practice there, Jack.
Yeah, maybe I'll show up 30 minutes before and get 10 in instead of 9, like you said. But no, just hopefully. I mean, I remember we drove that last time I was the season before this. I don't know if they drove it last season, but the one I last was in, I know we did do that one, so I did okay. They got a top 5, so as long as I can just survive and get a decent finish, I'll be happy. So
yeah, well, the good thing, not too many 1Xs at a street circuit like Adelaide. But before we let you go here, Jack, any shout out you want to give to fans cheering you at home?
Shout out to my dad for watching, like always, and shout out to Josh and Nick for being here. tonight. Josh did pretty good this week, so good points for the team, or for the Ruby team at least. So our other teammates, they were no show, they were busy, so but it happens. So, and then shout out to the Logitech guys in this league for providing me the gear I got. So
excellent stuff, Jack. Best of luck next week heading into Adelaide. As Rich said, get a couple more laps of practice in, and we'll see you then. Take care.
We'll do, fellas. Yeah, have a good week. Take care.
Was our race winner Jack Hedgecokes. And let's bring in who we got here. We got looks like Jim Flees, our second place driver in pro class, to catch up with Richard Swindells.
Jim, congratulations on the podium finish there. You and Jason Park had a tremendous battle for, I'd like to say every single lap.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think I started P4 and then dropped a spot to Miguel Vigo kind of right off the start. And so found myself in fifth, kind of had to push towards the start there and was able to gain a couple positions early on. But then, once I caught up to Jason, really just couldn't get a run on him. He was getting the power down in the Mustang and getting great exits everywhere he needed to. So never really had an opportunity to kind of put a move on him. Tried to save a little fuel and leapfrog him in the pit stop, but I think, having to push early on, wasn't able to kind of convert that pit strategy. And then, just couldn't find a way around. It is tough to pass here, but he put in a fantastic drive as well. So, shout out to Jason for a great second place.
Yeah, I was. You're having yourself a solid season here. I mean, Jack's been a little tough, but overall, you've got to be pretty pleased with the results of your SRT Purple Ferrari.
Yeah, I think especially around VIR, which has never really been my strongest track, if I'm honest. I was actually quite pleased to bring it home in a podium position and, just kind of run an error-free race around here. I think, any mistake is so punishing with, just a lack of runoff. Really happy to bring it home in third after all that.
Oh, I'm not sure if we lost Richard Swindells or not, Jim, but we head to Adelaide next week. How are you feeling about heading in there and the back half of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's a newer circuit. I think Throttle Freaks have been there maybe the last couple seasons, and, I maybe don't know it quite as well, but it's, fun to mix it up with the street circuit every now and then. I think, talking of punishing circuits, they often don't get more punishing than that when your off track is basically putting the car into a wall. So, they can spice things up and make things pretty exciting, and we'll just have to see how it goes next week.
Well, before I let you go here, Jim, anybody want to give a shout out to cheering you at home and helping you in each week?
Yeah, I just want to shout out all the SRT guys. I think we had some great practice sessions this week, and really important around a challenging circuit like this. And as always, just want to say hello to my family watching the broadcast at home. And thank you guys for putting on a good show.
Well, best of luck next week, Jack. Jim, sorry. Oh, man, I was looking at Jack, Jason, and Jim. All of my timing and scoring. It's so many J's in front of me. But best of luck next week, Jim, at Adelaide. It's going to be a tough one, real tight confines. We hope to see you at the sharp end of the field again. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.
That was second place in pro class, Jim Feliz, third overall. But let's bring in the man who had a dominating performance 2 weeks in a row here in Pro-Am class. Back-to-back winner, Jason. Talk us through your race.
Oh, that was another tough one. Honestly, to be honest, I got a good qualifying lap in. I just kind of nailed that the corner at the tree and the exit on the last corner, and was able to squeak in second there. And honestly, my game plan was to just kind of see how long I can stay at the front of the pack and not really fight anybody too much. But I kind of got in a groove there and was able to hold off Jim.
Now, you spoke of your qualifying lap. We were watching. We actually were just talking about you during qualifying on that last lap, and you crossed the line with mere seconds to go and hopped up into second place. Were you getting a little worried as you came through the final corners that you might not be able to get to the line before the clock ticked over?
You know what? I didn't even notice. To be honest, I didn't notice. I was just running to see as many laps as I could get in until the checkered flag. And actually, I did get that last lap in. I think it was my second last lap. I got that P2 quali result because the last one I kind of went wide, and so I bailed on that. But yeah, couldn't be happier with the result.
We head to Adelaide next week. How comfortable are you feeling taking the big old Mustang around there?
I don't know the track all that well, but to be honest, I kind of felt the same way about VIR here. So, yeah, with the back-to-back wins, I'm definitely kind of more confident than I normally would be, I'd say.
Well, you're going to head into there with a target on your back, too, as well, as somebody's going to be trying to knock you off after winning back-to-back races here. So best of luck next week, Jason. But before we let you go, any shout-outs you want to give to anybody helping you each week get ready or cheering you on?
Yeah, that'd definitely be the boys that on the team here. We had a good result for Team Red with second and fourth there, so good team points with Bill. And yeah, you guys always putting on a good show. Appreciate it. We'll see you next week.
Excellent stuff. Well, take care, Jason, and hopefully we see you up towards the sharp end of the field again. Have a good one.
Cheers, guys.
And then last but not least, let's bring in our AM winner, James Hand, to catch up with Richard Swindells.
James Hand, congratulations.
Thank you, man.
That was a great qualifying effort and tremendous race pace, holding off pros, pro-ams alike, battling with the likes of Seb Gauthier and whatnot. All the way up through the pit cycle, you were right up there battling for a top 10.
Yeah, I was trying to get into the top 10, but I just couldn't get past. I think it was Dave Bush in the Lambo. I just couldn't get past him, and then yeah, sort of went in the pits, and then I made a few mistakes on the track, and then just ended up getting the slowdown here and there, and yeah, I just tried to, but just couldn't quite get there. So,
well, nothing to be disappointed about. I mean, we've really noticed a great progression in consistency in your results. I'm guessing some of it may be due to being part of I-75 Motorsports, some of it doing extra practice and increasing your skill level, but you must be really happy with the season the way it's gone so far.
Yeah, I'm really happy. Yeah, I seem to have some really good pace. I've been working on my practicing and sort of trying to work on a bit of skills and stuff, so working on my braking and that, but yeah, it seems to be paying off, which is good, and the BMW's doing me good at the moment, so yeah,
it certainly seems a good choice. We had in the top 15 we had 3 BMWs, so it's nice to see the BMW working well. Next week up to Adelaide, totally different kind of course, street circuit. How do you think your chances are there?
I mean, it's a bit of a hard track because it's quite closed and it's strictly being a street circuit, so the walls, but I seem to have pretty good pace around there, and I do quite like that track as well, so I'll do some practice on it and hopefully get another win on that one as well, hopefully.
Well, the goal is always a win. Once you're a winner once, you never want to settle for second place, James. Congratulations. Anybody you'd like to thank or give a shout out or say hi to?
No, just a big thank you again to the league and you guys broadcasting. You do an amazing job. So love racing it. So thank you.
Well, we love having you here, James. We're glad you stay up late or get up real early and race with us every single week. I think you've been here since the beginning of Throttle Freaks, and we enjoy having you here.
Thank you very much.
That was James Hand, our winner of the AM class. So that's going to pretty much wrap things up here for interviews. Rich at VIR. I can't wait for Adelaide. I love the street circuits. I know you're a big fan of the street circuits too as well. So looking forward to that one. Should be a ton of fun as we head back down under. We're spending a lot of time in this season here across the various leagues, racing on Australian tracks. So we're gonna be half Australian, I think, by the time this season of iRacing season 3 2026 is done. Well,
I'm gonna be sitting next week on the in Canada, they're not. I don't know. My visa didn't get approved for Australia or something, Rob. So I'll be heckling the broadcast crew in the YouTube chat over the Cell Network and enjoying that race. I think it's going to be tremendous.
Yeah, you're gonna miss out on the good one. You'll be able to watch it from the cheap seats, I guess, at in your backyard or at the cottage.
We'll see how good the production is.
That's gonna wrap things up for us this week. Again, if you're interested in doing some open wheel racing, you can get on track and put me into the wall tomorrow night in the ASRL Indian XT series. But otherwise, that's gonna wrap things up for us. We'll be here next week, July 28th, for the next round of Throttle Freaks GT3 racing at the Land Down Under. Until then, for Races Nexus, I'm Rob Campbell and Richard Swindells, who's going to be taking some well-deserved time off next week. Until then, bye for now.